let's advocate. We've got the tools, then it's upon us to go and preach to our members.
As Africans, we have solutions for African problems.
Heading for health should be one of the components that we push for in the livestock development program.
What I really like is this centering the program in indigenous knowledge and traditional knowledge, which always helps, I think, for adoption.
The heading for health, it can work for us.
We need to build our farmer and community capacity and opportunities for agricultural adaptation.
Whenever you guys are ready, can I see those smiles? Let me see those smiles, let me see those smiles. You can wave to the camera.
This is not just another dialogue. It is a gathering of real custodians of food and land, the farmers. Farmers are a solution. We are here to deliberate on issues that directly shape our future. The CAADP Kampala commitments and the development of its indicators, which we must see them translated into real benefits for farmers. The SADC Regional Agri-food Systems Investment Plan, which needs to reflect the priorities of farmers and other stakeholders across the region. Climate change, which is really affecting us as farmers. Climate change is with us and we must take it seriously. The Heading for Health model, which offers us practical pathways for environmental and livelihood sustainability, resilience, and harmony with our ecosystem.
CAADP is a comprehensive Africa agriculture development program, and it goes back to 2023 in Maputo when it was created. And it was created to be the Africa's policy framework for agriculture, and it's also part of the African Union Agenda 2063. And the aim is to reduce poverty and increase food security on the continent. The Kampala Strategy and Action Plan 2026-2035 has got 6 strategic objectives. As we go along, it's going to be important that we as farmers, we should already see where we are fitting in these strategic objectives and specific targets.
First one is around agri-food systems, food production, industrialization and trade. The second one is about increasing finance in agriculture. The third one is about ensuring food security and nutrition. And the fourth one is advancing inclusivity, equitable livelihoods. We have a fifth, which is around building resilient food systems, resilient systems, livelihood systems. And then the sixth strategic objective is about agri-food systems governance.
If I look at a farmer, and this farmer is called to adopt its practices, emerging technologies that boost productivity, sustainable resilience. Who is going to support that farmer to do this? And it is the need of a farmer that we are representing here.
Can we have trainings that will help us run our businesses better? Probably the businesses will be able to raise capital for themselves.
I know that within SADC there's a lot of frameworks that have been put in place for mutual recognition of standards and all that, but the issue is implementation. I think that's very uneven, and those are things that we need to discuss a bit more to ensure that we are aligning.
Goal number 6, though is the last one in terms of governance, but that is everything. If governance and leadership is not there, all the others, the other 5 cannot really work. So I think we need to think and be very proactive in terms of engaging the local governments in terms of implementation of these declarations, commitments.
How do we change that narrative? How do we become stronger organizations that get the voices which are listened to?
In the new RASIP, for us, we've got 7 strategic objectives, but we are calling them programs. They are calling them strategic objectives. So the first program is on sustainable agricultural production, productivity, and food and nutrition security. The second program is agro-industrialization and value chain development, resilience building and capacity building, and management of natural resources and environment, sustainable environmental management, finance and investment. We want to improve resource mobilization for agri-food systems, including through operationalization of the Agriculture Development Fund, equitable livelihoods with a focus on the integration and empowerment of women, youth, and marginalized groups. The last program under the new RIPE is governance and policy coherence. The main objective is to focus on strengthening leadership, enhancing policy alignment, and improving coordination.
We are clear that 10% of annual budget allocation should go to agriculture, but we rarely get to that.
Our next step is to do the action plan and implementation plan. After that, we're going to cost the action plan, and then we are going to do resource mobilization. Heading for health should be one of the components that we push for in the livestock development program. We can include it there. We've got the livestock technical committee, which is member state led, and we can make sure that it's one of the key programs that we have.
We need to promote adaptation through climate smart technologies. We need to build our farmer and community capacity and opportunities for agricultural adaptation to climate change. And we also need to develop a regional framework for agricultural research and development related to climate adaptation, including the climate vulnerability assessments.
Farmers are not part of the negotiations. So it's really, really critical because if the farmers are not lucky enough to be trained before they go to the COP, they get lost.
You have just mentioned the thing about how SADC cannot be able to control how national governments run things, use finance and all that. If through SADC you're supporting national governments to get climate finance, then why don't we have a system where you can be able to monitor how they use this money? But we need to find a system where we can have one results framework.
Because the work that we do is not for the institutions, it's for the farmers. Because Heading for Health takes into consideration the practices that you're already implementing and that were implemented a long time ago by our forefathers in terms of how to manage livestock and how to manage the rangelands. So there's always more grass for the cattle, there's always more grass for the goats and sheep and all our livestock. Let's work on our rangelands to make them healthy so that the soil is healthy, the grass is healthy, and you're able to have better livestock. Let's work on the animals themselves to ensure that there is healthy animals through different interventions, and also allow the communities and the herders to understand basic primary animal health care. And let's work on the work we need to do collectively to address issues around value chain development, market development, so that we have better economic opportunities. And also let's work on policy initiatives that create an enabling environment for implementation, while also at a local level supporting collective governance as communities.
Heading for Health needs to work with the farmer organization if it's going through us, the farmer organization, we have a regional farmer organization. It goes through there. I'm telling you, you'll have a success stories.
So in practical, I was looking at the draft 7 programs, and I thought it could be mainstreamed on the sustainable agriculture production and productivity, food and nutrition security and sovereignty is one of the area. And then the other area is on resilience and capacity building, which is very much on climate change. So through this, it will be much more easier in terms of ensuring that H4H is mainstreamed, but also having budgets from the government coffers.
We need a change of how we take care of our animals. The heading for health, it can work for us. If we can start doing further production, whether watering or rain-fed, it can work for us. Because our animals will produce milk. With that milk, I think we'll be answering that nutrition part of it to our kids.
I believe that as a community, there is more that we can do than as individuals. We could continue working together and have a smooth path of transferring skills so that we can be able to blend the indigenous knowledge with the scientific knowledge.
We need to change how we take care of animals, which affects environment, which affects livelihoods, public health, and climate as well. So it's a whole cyclic situation where one affects the other. We have extension officers and veterinarians not tending to our flocks in most African countries, and we need to empower the veterinarians, empower the extension officers. They need training. They are not trained.
I think that's a call for all of us as farmers, as CSOs, as the government. It's really important for us to know the actual number when it comes to data of livestock that we have, because that is going to be very important. So I'm really glad that H4H is doing this work, because it's showing that as Africans, we have solutions for African problems.
One, what I really like is this centering the program, any program in indigenous knowledge and traditional knowledge, which always helps, I think, for adoption. Because if it's based in already existing culture of practices, and it's far more easier to adopt this system. And often it's also low-tech, easy and cheaper than some new innovative things that come from outside. So that it's a very good thing, and I think under Herding for Health, it's what we try to do. Even with the bomas, we discussed them. The gentleman, our colleague from Tanzania, was saying he couldn't afford this kind of predator-proof boma. But I think the colleagues under the program are working towards finding localized solutions for that, so that within the same community, with the materials available to you, you can build this at a better price point.
There's been quite a lot of government intervention that is targeted in women and youth, whether it's in investment, in infrastructure, and what. There's no harm in tapping into that framework. Would be the best way to reach those marginalized women and youth.
As SADC, we have a livestock development program at a regional level, and we are also mainstreaming the same in member countries. Most of the issues that we are raising here are what is in the livestock development program. Quickly, the strategic objectives is to improve productivity, reduce losses from diseases, build and upgrade infrastructure, markets, abattoirs, cold chains and transport, improve regulatory frameworks. This is SPS, trade standards, etc. And an important thing that you may be happy to hear is that we also have a strategy there to enhance smallholder participation and inclusivity, women and rural communities in animal production. We also want to improve data collection, information sharing for better decision making, and we also want to strengthen value chains from production, processing, marketing, trade, both within and externally. So these are the things that are happening. What we're going to urge farmers here
and everyone else is to engage nationally with the livestock sector so that these things are not happening without you. I think there was a saying, nothing about us without, yeah.
Image of elephants to thank you for your support on this project, and also backwards you have been very supportive, and the elephant is known for its wisdom, strength and steady leadership. Thanks, gratitude for your incredible support. Flying birds, they go above limitations to achieve a higher objective. Thank you. Because it has elephants. Yes. Yes, Elizabeth, that is our token of thanks, and the interpretation is the same. Birds flying higher above limitation to achieve the objective. Martin, we thank you very much for your support, teamwork and leadership, map showing strength, leadership, yes, and wisdom. Thank you very much.
This is a moment that we all have to cherish, and that the farmers are well represented today, and we are very happy. And the support that we got is overwhelming. And from here, we expecting all of us to go down to our communities, our members, to share the experiences that we got today. Let's use it, and let's advocate. We've got the tools, then it's upon us to go and preach to our members.
Thank you so much for the sterling work that they are doing, for making sure that there is food in every table, in every homestead, and that is something that can never be underestimated. Thank you so much. Siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Asanteni sana.